The band Slipknot calls its fans, that band calls their fans maggots and insists that it's not an insult, but how can that term applied to anybody be construed as anything but an insult? That's what I say. Yeah, I fell asleep on the couch. I fell asleep with Omar up by my head, and I woke up and he's by my head. I'd had him backwards, and then he must have switched when I was asleep. It's really, it's a couch, a room, and what do you think happens? I wake up and he's up on my head with the cone, and it's not pleasant. And then I wake up to infomercials, and I couldn't get up and actually go to bed, so I just quickly reached down for the remote and switched it to 412, switched it to Music Choice Rock. Which I need to watch sometime all day. Maybe listen to it while I'm cleaning or something, cleaning the house. Find more music to put on my MP3 player. Because, needless to say, there's tons of songs that I do not like. I had never listened to any of some of the Nickelback songs play on this. I woke up, fell back to sleep, and then woke up to This Means War. And the other day I heard Bottoms Up, and I don't care for those. There was a time way back when I first did that I loved all Nickelback songs, but I'm finding I don't like a lot of his later ones. Some, but not others. This Means More and Bottoms Up, I don't care for. I love Edge of a Revolution, We Must Stand Together. I haven't heard all of his latest, I say latest, post, the ones that I never listened to at all, essentially. And then I just heard a Caesar song I did like. It's from Isolate and Medicate, and I love Words as Weapons. I love Nobody Praying for Me from Isolate and Medicate. And of course, he can't be alone in the living room for 2 seconds before he has to come in, right? There was another song that I heard. I can't recall it. I didn't have a notebook with me again. It's not good for me to fall asleep on the couch like that in my clothes without getting ready for bed, without a pillow. But, it is what it is. Very, very draining day yesterday. And speaking of that, my college diploma, Lou. Ones that people don't like this. We can't believe it. Don't care what you think, but I know I'm telling the truth. Don't care what you believe, but I know I'm telling the truth. There's a few things on the bed. The room is, I'm moving. There's a few things, so Omar. Can't stay in the living room 2 seconds, can be sound asleep, and will wake up instantly. That is the nature of the Omar. So, I like to throw into the mix some videos of mine that I don't have to age restrict, so what better way? This is what I wore to go visit my mom. Be more respectable, Instead of wearing shorts or wearing my Besides, it's getting cooler out. Yesterday, technically, I wasn't going to wear shorts there anyway, but even a shorter skirt, sneakers or something, no. I dressed more respectfully. And I actually got a ride, but I'm not going to elaborate on how that wonderful event took place. Let's just chalk it up to, or suffice to say, you know, I'm in a state of desperation, and someone came through for me, and we managed to, you know, get me a ride and back, and find someplace safe. Right? We don't have to elaborate on everything. Right, Pumpkinhead? Anyway, I do like to throw into the mix sometimes, some videos that don't have to be age restricted. So I'm going to keep it clean. I'm not going to talk about anything graphic, either sexually or violent stuff in the news or whatnot. I will save those things for another time. Because they already have something new that I saw that I want to research and then talk about that I heard on the news. But like I said, I'm not going to talk about that right now. These are my size 10 INC jeans from Macy's. They still fit me extremely comfortably. I didn't know if they would. I grabbed it from my closet and I'm like, I wonder if these still fit me. They fit me fine, so. Am I a little heavier from when I bought them? I think so. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I am. I don't know exactly what I weighed when I bought those. I remember the other INC 10s I was all excited about. I was a lot thinner when I first bought them. I bought those when I was staying with Joe. And I grabbed 12s like I normally would do. And then I'm like, these are not, maybe what the hell, I've never tried on a 20, I tried on the 10s, and the 10s fit me, you know. I created videos, I was ecstatic with that. And they still fit me even when I gained like 10 pounds or something, so I don't know. Anyway, these fit me comfortably. These are my size 10 INCs. And these are what I wore. What you're seeing is exactly what I wore to visit my mother. Purposes, but not to visit my mom per se. Just to hopefully get to speak to the people in charge of her care. You know, like last time I was limited in just to talk on the phone. You know, people like doctor, or social worker, caseworker, whatever the case may be, whatever they call them. So I was right about Omar. Turns out that one of those stitches was going into his eye a little bit, and he did have a minor scratch. So it's a good thing that I cut my ass in there. I know my dog. It turned out he shouldn't be doing that. He shouldn't be constantly pawing at that and whatnot. And unfortunately, that cone is not, it doesn't, yeah, he can't get it with his paw, but you know what he does? He fucking, just like he can eat through the cone, he pushes into things, like say the side of the bed, and pushes his eye into it. You know what I mean? It's like, I can only do so much. You know, I cannot watch him constantly. I'm going to limit when I, you know, leave the house. I'm not going to do anything like go out or whatnot. I'm aching to do that. Until he's, you know, considered free and clear and doesn't have a cone on his head. I mean, I could leave, like I did the other night, go to the store for like an hour or something just to get out of the house and listen to my music and, you know. But for the most part, I'm just going to stay here with him. And stop him from doing stuff like pressing his damn face into stuff. So he thinks, you know, I see him doing it. He can't reach with his once he presses his face into stuff. So it's right 100% about Omar. So that's good. You know, the vet decided to remove one of the stitches or something or other. We can't have that going into his eye like that. That was why, even though it wasn't red or swollen, she'd warned me about if he's squinting, and he was squinting. Of course, he's still squinting, but not as bad. When I put the ointment on his eye, he gets upset. You know. Right about Omar, and technically wrong about my mom. And I say technically because I found out some things. So technically, I wasn't wrong about, I was wrong in that how I construed what was going on was really not the case. And you file that under, you know, you learn something new every day. And also file it under, breaks my heart even more because if my mom didn't have someone, you know, Auntie admittedly was never hands-on, didn't get involved in the medication aspect, or, I don't know, I found out something that, my mom's just lucky that she's got me really being the detective and digging into this crap and making sure I'm aware of everything going on with her. And of course I'm going to still be constantly terrified because of her age. Because of her age. When she's on a shitload of psych meds, I'm going to be terrified because of her age, period. In that world, the psychiatrists and whatnot, to sleep at night, they can deny all they want, but the fact is that especially the older someone gets or whatnot, all of these psych meds, when it's so much combined and you don't know really what the combination of certain things are going to do to somebody, it can have a potentially very bad outcome. Turns out that doctor didn't add in that extra 20 of Zyprexa, 20 milligrams. According to the doctor, that was on the list forwarded from the regular hospital. I'm like, that's impossible. I provided that hospital with the fucking they asked me they did a photocopy, the discharge papers, which means the hospital had the exact thing my mom was prescribed the day she was released from that other mental hospital. Well, turns out because of HIPAA and whatnot, you can't forward something like that to a mental. I'm like, what do you mean? They can't give you what my mom was on. How would you ever know? Well, we're supposed to be able to talk to the patient and kind of gather it or whatever. Apparently, this is standard procedure. I'm like, or call around to pharmacies or do this or do that, which apparently they hadn't gotten around to doing. I'm like, but that's ridiculous because a lot of patients, you can't communicate with them, and my mom is one of them. And it makes it very difficult because my mom was thinking the triliptal was the shot. I'm like, no, I had to set my mom straight. You can't communicate with someone like that. And then apparently my mom was very upset when she got in there and wouldn't talk to anybody anyway. I said, I was happy because the doctor outright said, yeah, I thought this was too much medication or too many medications and whatnot. Yeah, but you still were giving them all to her, and it turned out, and then she mentioned other stuff, and I'm like, no, that one, my mom's nurse, my mom's psychiatrist, nurse, whatever, wanted to put my mom on, and didn't wind up doing it because my mom got hospitalized again, and you know what I mean? No, apparently all that regular hospital can do legally is just send over a list of possible medications. Like they pick from a hat all the medications my mom's been on every time she goes in the hospital. I'm thinking, good thing you didn't put her fucking back on lithium or something. Which was, you mentioned that, and my mom started screaming instantly. I don't blame her. But these hospitals, when they get a patient, my mom gets so confused with her medication because she's been in and out of these hospitals, in and out, and they keep switching them. And the doctor, they'll listen to me. They got where I was coming from, which was good. I appreciated them taking the time to listen to me and not blow me off and not just act, because they're flailing around. They apparently. I'm still disgusted with it all because that can happen. That was a friggin' mix. I'm like, that's a mix-up. My mom was not put on that. That was 2 hospitals ago that she was on that 20 milligrams of Zyprexa. And when I see you add that to that whole other long list, when even that doctor the other hospital didn't put her on that. I explained the whole situation, how my mom wound up on that drug on Wednesday and was sent home. On Friday, sent home on, wound up on the drug on Wednesday, sent home on Friday as a brand new to her drug, and it's scary. Again, my mom's lucky she has me in her corner. I feel bad for all the people who don't have anybody, because these things get mixed up, and if you're not able to communicate, you're kind of screwed. Case in point, you get a whole list of medications. That's not the discharge papers. My mom was on that. She was also on lithium at one point. She was also on Haldol. She was also, you know what I mean? But the regular hospital wouldn't know that, you see? The regular hospital only knows what my mom is on once my mom goes to the regular hospital. So we'd never have to worry about Haldol being on the list, because while my mom was in a mental hospital, she was put on Haldol, and then you guys know that story, went to a regular hospital, 105 temperature, taken off the Haldol. So she would never wind up back in a regular hospital, say a month later, with Haldol on that list. As far as the regular hospital knows, she was never on Haldol, because they didn't ever, But at one point, she was on that 20 milligrams of Zyprexa and wound up in the hospital, so they have that on their list. So they send to the mental hospital, what I learned just yesterday, just a list of potential, what my mom might be on. That's scary to me. It's basically anything they ever knew that she was on. Because then the doctor was like, well, maybe they were giving her that. I'm like, they told me they can't change around her. They were not giving her that. It's a mix-up. But I'm not going to argue. But I know it's a mix-up because I know, because I was communicating with the regular hospital and saying what's my mom on and what's she taking, and I visited twice in that short period. You know what I mean? So, no. I didn't visit twice. I was there that first day when she was brought there, and then I visited another time. So, yeah, no. It's not the case. It's just a mix-up, or it's a mix-up. As far as I'm concerned, if my mom winds up in your hospital, and I tell you, I provide for you, which she wouldn't be able to do, but I was able to do it, exactly what she was on when she was discharged from the mental hospital before she went up in your hospital again, why can't you just send a list of that? Why throw something else in the mix? That she was on 2 visits to your hospital ago or something, I don't like that, but just feel bad for everybody if they can't communicate. And then they, like my mom, they think I have to take this or I won't get out. You just take whatever they want to give you, and they could have a mix-up when they don't know you and haven't talked to your advocate or healthcare proxy or anything like that, or your doctors or whatnot, because you are afraid to sign anything that I had to convince you to sign releases and whatnot. At least she had a release from me. You know, I don't blame her. You get put in these places, if you can't understand or read the papers put in front of you, she didn't trust anything until I say, yeah, Mom, you got to sign these papers. You're not signing your life away. You're not signing something that you're going to stay in there forever. And they don't know. They're scared. They, as in these patients who get involuntarily committed into mental hospitals. Of course, I don't know the logistics still. Well, my mom hadn't signed anything. Is she there voluntarily? How does that work? I was reading up on it. She was sent via, to the regular via ambulance, so it's involuntarily, and she must have been sick. I don't know how it works. Every time she goes in these hospitals, I know she had said before, I have to sign with this. I thought, I have to sign these papers or I'm never going to get out. And she didn't even know what she was signing. And now she's afraid to sign anything. And of course she wants me to just get her out of there, and I can't do that. I'm just not ready to come home anyway. Once we got everything straightened out, I need to make a whole history. I could do it. Seriously. I need to make a whole history. They're still thinking she's bipolar. I said, she's always chronic schizophrenic. And they're like, well, way back then, they were misdiagnosing manic depressive. They didn't have her. No, she's manic when she gets, but she's not I know she's not bipolar. She doesn't have the low lows and the whatever. She has the manic when but she's still, I don't know. Besides, it wasn't the 50s or 60s when she first broke down. It was when I was 10, so it was the 70s, late. Apparently in the 50s or 60s, I guess they were misdiagnosing a lot of people as schizophrenic who were really manic depressive, but they didn't have that. I don't know. All I know is that wasn't her first breakdown was in the late 70s when I was 10. So. Called up Joe to see what he thought, about this pneumonia thing with Hillary and whatnot. Joe, don't shoot the messenger, because again, I'm just an observer, but I'm going to tell you what Joe thinks, and he firmly believes it. He thinks that Hillary is far sicker than she's making herself out to be, or her people want the world to believe, and that she's going to drop out of the race. That the election's going to be presidential election's going to be postponed, and that someone else is going to take Hillary's place. And I'm like, well, if the Democratic National Convention was rigged, which we all know it was, then and Bernie's the one that then if like you say, Joe, he should have won then the nomination. Then shouldn't it be him that takes over if Hillary has to drop out? Well, who knows what's going to happen? It's all fucked. Jimmy Kimmel's funny though. He's like, it's making it really difficult to, the conspiracy theorists all along have been, talking about Hillary's health or whatnot, it's making it really difficult to not, like, I'm ad-libbing here, because it's making it really difficult to not believe the conspiracy theorists when they keep being proved right regarding Hillary's health, you know. Yeah, no shit. We conspiracy theorists are being proved right. Hillary's denying that anything's wrong, and then we keep seeing indications, like her falling at that 9/11 thing and being stumbling and whatnot, and, you know. And, yeah, it turned out she supposedly has pneumonia, but she kept it hidden. And that goes back to transparency, where people are not going to trust her because she keeps having all these little secrets that, you know, and then they come out. In this case, somebody, a bystander, happened to catch it on film, and then you have to confess that, you know. I don't know. We'll see if Joe's right. But I know Jimmy Kimmel's a pro-Hillary, but he had to say, you know, you're making it difficult for us to label your people calling saying you about your health and whatnot a conspiracy theory when these people keep being proved right. Joe threw me over. Joe like shocked me. He's like she's gonna drop out of the race. I'm like, you serious? I don't believe that. We'll see, right? I said I've never been, ever in my life, been this involved in what's going on in politics and whatnot, but so many things are happening. In our world. And of course Joe had to bring up the Anunnakis running the show and Pindar and all this crap. Joe, I have enough on my plate just dealing with my regular life and, you know, and my worry and concern over my mom and over Omar to have to go there and worry about, you know, extraterrestrials, lizard people running the show behind the scenes. Did I say that to my Joe? No, I listened as usual. Shut my mouth. That's what I do. Slipknot calls its fans maggots, but it's not meant as an insult. Oh, okay. Oh, just as an aside, I didn't like the song. I'm grateful to music choice. Like I said, music choice brought Hailstorm into my existence. I'm appreciative of that. Among other bands. Let's kick in Omar's. I do love that type of music, and I do, when I listen to the words, a lot of those bands, I do feel like those are the people that I'm, sometimes, not bands like Ghost or whatnot, you know, that's not, but sometimes I feel like, you know, when I listen to some of the lyrics, those are the people that I most, relate to, you know, up here in this existence. Those are my fellow human beings on this planet with whom I most relate to. Put it bluntly. At least in some respects, but as some of you know, maybe a lot of you know, I have a whole bunch of different sides and a more than a split personality, so I have, you know. But I definitely don't relate at all to, like, the Christians, the ones going to, you know, or the family that go to church, or all that. But on the extreme, on this music choice, you know, there's different varying levels. Don't relate to the lyrics being sung by the real hardcore bands. Or the sentiments being expressed or whatnot. But some of those lyrics you can't even understand, or I can't understand what they're saying. And since I don't like the song, I'm not going to look up the Google the lyrics. So I don't like it. I hate that band Ghost. That whatever that song is that comes out of that band Ghost that keeps playing on Music Choice. I hate it, that song so much. Just I hate the beat. I hate whatever that I turn it down until it's over. Just turn the music down. I don't really care for Chevelle. Don't like that song Joyride. As you guys know, I like a lot of Caesar. Love and Hailstorm. I like that Skillet song, Feel Invincible. I like the new Skillet song, Whispers in the Dark. Of course, my tried and true bands, you know, like three notes down. Oh. Other new bands I discovered. 6 a.m. Discovered new music by Disturbed. Disturbed was a long time ago, as was Papa Roach. Still didn't buy new earplugs. I couldn't even breathe yesterday between trying to figure out how to get him to be safe, and my mom crying at me, when you come, you gotta talk to a doctor, you gotta get out of here. Sorry, Mom. At least you got me straightening out your doctor so they know. And they're gonna, if they bother, read it, but whatever, I have to type it up, I want to do that for my own sake. I want to get a chronological, to the best of my knowledge. I can do it for at least over these past 4 years I've lived here. I can do it exactly. It's just going back to when I was living in LA. But that would be a little more difficult. I wrote it all down at the time, but it's somewhere in my, you know, in the recesses of all my boxes. I kept track of everything. But again, not in a neat and orderly fashion. So, but over these last 4 years, I can give details of exactly and how I expressed I'm incapable of not being emotional. Because people say they're going to tune, doctors are going to tune you out if you're too emotional. I know, I'm incapable of doing that, but I'm so knowledgeable and articulate in my speaking. I can say X, Y, and Z. I can say, you know, every time she goes in these hospitals, they don't tweak what she was already on from the previous hospital. They change it all around. They put on brand new stuff. Hence, the last time she was put on 1,200 milligrams of gabapentin, the next hospital doctor, in her wisdom, completely takes her off the gabapentin, you know, and they were agreeing with me, you know, so... Then when the doctor, what about lithium? My mom cried out immediately, and of course I did too. Not in this way she did. The agonizing, no! You know what I mean? But can you blame her? The fact of the matter is, and I even read it online, if you're not committed, they cannot force you to take any of your medication. So I'm not going to advise my mom anything, but that is her right, and until they get this all straightened out, where, you know, I'm glad to know that that wasn't the case, that the doctor just added that onto the mix. That was just... I found out that they can't legally send, like, they just have to piece together, be detectives and talk to whatever, and then can't talk to my mom and she's so confused. So I'm sure they were grateful for my input, even if it was laced with emotion, passion, a genuine concern for my mom and what was going on and whatnot, you know. Overzealous, passionate nature or not, I know my shit. When it comes to my mom, anyway. I know my shit, backwards, forwards, left, right, up, down, you know, inside out. And I know my shit without referring to notes, you know what I mean? I have it all written down, but I have it in my head enough to convey exactly what is going on. Because again, it was worse than I thought. I didn't know that if I tell that hospital, the regular hospital, exactly, I give them copies of the discharge papers that have that list of exactly what my mom was discharged on, exactly the prescription I just filled. And apparently they're not legally allowed to forward that. They can only give a list. These are possible medications. Oh, my God. This is everything we've given her at times she's been in our hospital over these last many months, or what? That's ridiculous. But in any case, even that they don't know, when they don't know that my mom has been on a particular medication for say 6 months, rather than in that case put on it on Wednesday, sent home on Friday, and then she took it, I guess, for a couple days in the regular hospital, and then said, I'm not taking it anymore. So a medication, all I can say is I feel bad for all these people that wind up in these mental hospitals involuntarily, who can't articulate what they were on or can't communicate. It's not like they, you know, I'm depressed, I check myself in, but this is exactly what no. Someone like my mom gets so confused because she's on so many and she keeps getting switched around and she's totally confused. So you're not going to learn anything from her. She's not going to understand. She's going to dutifully take what you give her, but unless you have someone like me in her life who's going to explain, no, she wasn't on that. I have her discharge papers. This is exactly what she was released on, and I'm grateful to find out that you didn't actually just throw on another on top of all so much, and you don't even agree with everything she was on, but it's still in the process of piecing it all together. I want her off the friggin' trailer. That's all I said as much, no. And I don't care if it's, you know, that's not really that high of a, yeah, it is. Well, there are people that take 900. So what? Those people are not my mother who's on everything else, you know. You could say, oh, well, lots of people are on tons of stuff, and you'd be surprised. Yeah. But what I can't say to you, doctor, because that's your profession and you will hold tightly to all of your beliefs regarding this, that doesn't matter that it's lots of people are doing that. Lots of people are also being adversely affected. It's overkill. It's too much. Anyway, I kept my little mouth shut, of course. If people can't deal with, in that world, can't deal with me being passionate when I'm speaking of all this shit that's been happening to my mom, and whatever. Do the best I can. At least I can convey things in a very articulate manner. And I care enough to do it. That's all I can say. Peace. Yeah, it ain't healthy for me to be crushing them. And my glasses, too. It's not real sleep. It's sleep where the TV is definitely infiltrating my thoughts. It's going into my subconscious brain. I am asleep. Asleep on my back, of course, because it's a couch, you know. Didn't even have my pillow. Didn't have any. I was cold. I woke up and he was right at my head with the damn cone in my face. Listening to me call her in my face. Didn't like that. But it happened while I was asleep. Because I had him facing the other end with his, you know, his ass in my face, better than his frigging big cone that's sharp, possibly if I move in my sleep, pressing into my eye or pressing into whatever. Give me. I know you don't like anything. You think everything should... Oh, no, you know what? You need your front line on you. I was waiting to do that, you know, because poor dog has to have a surgery, has to have this and has to have that, but here he is, see? He's still got the thing on him. We got it taped, at least so it's, you know, hopefully he can't get it off now that it's taped, but given enough time, he probably would still get it off. But I won't be leaving him for any length of time. I got done what needed to be done. I visited my mom. I explained as best I could the whole situation, you know. They can't listen to me forever, but I did the best I could to get general idea, the gist, that she keeps winding up at these hospitals, and every time she gets a new doctor in a new mental hospital, they put her on brand new stuff. They don't tweak what she's on. They just completely change it, and you know, it's like back and forth. Put a little bit of that, and let's pick out of a hat, or let's put her back on with another doctor, 2 hospitals ago took her off of, shit like that, you know. So, anyway. Yes. Despite what the vet says, you're still squinting. You're still squinting. You should not. He's still squinting, but he's not pawing at like that, like he was doing. But he does it when I put that ointment on him. Go ahead. Go ahead. Just wanted to show them you. Go back on the bed. I don't trust you. I'll put my legs up, and you'll try to jump up and then fall backwards, potentially, if I don't pay attention and grab you. Yeah. Go on the bed. See, even without the cone, it's impossible. He can't do it. He tries. He is not... He cannot get up on my lap when it's up like this. And there have been times if I'm not paying attention when I'm talking to you guys, I have to be real careful because he will try to do it, and you know, the first time he does it, I'm not realizing it's happening. Now I have to be really aware because it's too high up. He can't do it. But he unfortunately doesn't realize he can't do it. Watch out for him. there's your update. I was completely right about Mr. Lou, and misconception about what was happening with my mom in the hospital and the doctor and whatnot. But how do I know? I don't know that world. I don't know that, as far as I'm concerned, if I tell you in the regular hospital where my mom was sent to by ambulance, I tell them exactly what she's on. I thought that they're going to tell the mental hospital, wherever they happen to send her, exactly what she was on, you know? Not just give a list of all possible medications that she's been on while she's been in your hospital. And it doesn't make sense to me. I think someone fucked up somewhere. I really do. I think that Zyprexa that got added in shouldn't have. And someone messed up. I don't know. We all can only have our perceptions and see if they're proved right or proved wrong, or, you know what I mean? Like Joe 100% believes. He says, you know, whistleblowers or insiders in that her actual camp are saying that, or leaking that she's going to drop out of the friggin' race because her health is in far worse a state than she or any of her people, her supporters, whatever, the inside people trying to get her into the president, get into the White House, are letting the public, you know, letting on to the public. But it's coming to the forefront, and she might be forced to drop out of the presidency. I'm just saying what Joe said. I'm not saying it will happen or not happen. I'm saying what he believes. And obviously, what he believes, he's not alone in those beliefs. Okay. He studies shit I don't. He listens to Alex Jones, I think, every day. Although I doubt, maybe he does it while he's cooking dinner, or Joe, or so, I don't know. He did that when I was staying there, but because Alex Jones' show is 3 hours long. I'm sure Joe doesn't listen to that 3 hour long show every day. I don't ever listen to that. Joe always refers to it, but I do get something from whatever it's called from the Alex Jones channel. I get stuff like that. I don't read it all, but if something catches my eye, I read it. And then from John Rappaport, Mike Adams too. That's on that end. Although Natural News stopped talking about political stuff. It just wants to focus on health stuff. But sometimes they overlap. But and it refers you to something else you can go to find out all the opinion about health. But and I don't do it. I can only do so much, you know. If I'm not aware of every little thing, I'm aware of enough. And Joe fills me on shit too. And I've said nothing that would cause this video to have to be age restricted. And I'm completely clothed, so it won't have to be age restricted because I'm wearing a skirt or shorts that ride too far up my thighs when I'm sitting like I like to sit over here. It's comfortable, my legs on that, where I have my printer. And these are my size 10 that I still fit into 100% comfortably. They're not tight at all. They're not bothering me at all. They were washed. They weren't even tight when I put them on. I have this other pair too. I don't know where they are. And my mom got her teddy bear back. I'm like, how'd you get your teddy bear back? She's like, I saw it. It was sitting there on the... I'm like, so someone from that... I knew I'd given it to her in the regular hospital. I made a point of doing it. And I knew I had it because I had shoved it down in my bag when I was going there to visit her before she went up in the mental hospital. And I'd shoved it down so no one would see me with the teddy bear on my back. And then when it was missing, it was either that... I knew that. And I'm like, how'd you get it? She's like, I saw it and I grabbed it. I'm like, so when they went through your stuff to decide what you could have or not have, you know, because if anything's inappropriate, like you can't have shoelaces in any of these places, and they took it. Who knows? That's fucked. I'm like, why was that taken? Why were you not given it? Or, you know, I'm thinking to myself, why was she not given it, or it locked up for whatever reason if she couldn't have it? I don't know. Someone probably saw it and took it. Let's just take the little teddy bear from the mental person. She won't know the difference. I don't know. The mentally ill person. It just pisses me off. That pisses me off because I want to know what happened. But I was like, well, it doesn't matter. I have it now and I hid it. Okay, whatever. It matters to me. They shouldn't be stealing your teddy bears that come in with you coming from somewhere else, thinking you won't know the difference or something. I don't know, it pissed me off. But all for no, not for shit pisses me off. Justified. I wanted my mom to have the comfort of the teddy bear and it goes MIA and who knows where it was, and then my mom sees it displayed somewhere. My mom doesn't mince words. She's like, someone probably took it because they wanted it, as in staff, not the patients. And I'm like, yeah, but that's really bad, you know. She got it back. She stole it back. She saw it sitting on like a displayed, I guess. Like, she took it. She recognized it as hers, yeah. And someone shouldn't have taken it at that hospital. And by someone, it would have been staff who's going through your stuff to decide what you're allowed to have and what you're not. When my mom's in any of these hospitals, and I keep my phone on 24/7, especially now that I'm the emergency contact, but the bad thing about that is that other people can call or text. I don't tend to get that many phone calls, but, you know, I do get texts and stuff from Selena, and the phone will wake me up. Just because I don't have to answer them, which I'm not going to do when I'm sleeping, they still wakes me up. Oh, wow. What can you do? And with that, I'm going to end this video, and that I really wanted to create. And I'm going to, remember, I have a whole bunch of videos that I had on private, and I wanted to wait until after I saw my mom. Make sure I got to see her and got to no guarantees. You know what I mean? And I wasn't going to upload any. I uploaded them, I have them private. I'm going to take them off private. There's a few.